Hey guys, my name is Alien. This is going to be the first tutorial of a series of many, hopefully. This one is really heavy though. This is the actual Space Laces growl bass that no one has ever seemed to be able to replicate. I've looked through a ton of tutorials and nobody has hit it. They all kind of do wavetable synthesis stuff, and that's definitely not how you do it. But this is the right way to do it per Space Laces on a Reddit AMA. So check it out. Here it is in a song.
Please kill me. Is mayonnaise an instrument?
Alright, let's get right into it. Number one, you're going to need Citrus, Disperser, and Vocadex, and OTT, and maybe Valhalla UberMod. I'd say get Valhalla UberMod, and then you're going to need a limiter and a mid-side EQ. So we're going to start out in Citrus. You want to come down here to this section. I'm not even sure what to call this section, but you want to turn on global pitch. I have center, Gibbs off, and Porta on. Portamento, Gibbs off. Not exactly sure what these do, but they made my stuff sound better, and my original patch that I made had them on, so figured might as well leave them on. So once you have those clicked on, come up to your unison section up here. You want to turn your order up to 2, turn your pan all the way down, volume all the way up, pitch to 15%, and turn your phase all the way off. And that does it for the main section here. Then you want to come over to operator 1, and you want to make it look something like this. This is at the very end, so this is the full spectrum of harmonics. The way to get to this is you click oscillator, and make sure you're all the way over to the left side of your harmonic spectrum here. And to draw on, all you do is just click in here and drag around. So go ahead and put something like that in there. Nice and simple. Don't play around with any of the high frequency stuff quite yet. I would say just for the sake of making this, just stick to it exactly, and then once you see how it's made, you can kind of determine what to play around with to make it sound different. Then what you're going to do, you're going to come over to operator 2. Same thing, come to the oscillator section and kind of draw in. Now you'll notice I have my root harmonic attenuated. So I found that in my original patch, I had this up here, but I found that it sounds better with it attenuated. So I would go ahead and just do that, follow that exactly. And then you want to come over to your volume section and click Mod X, and then set up your mapping like this. So this is going to map it to the X knob right here of your XY mod. And you'll be using this to record your sounds once it's done. Next, we'll set up the FM matrix. And all you want to do is you want to go to row 1, column 2, and turn it all the way up. And this is going to modulate operator 1 with operator 2. You also want to turn your output knob off. You can do this by right clicking on here. Otherwise it's going to come through just regularly and not through the filters. So to send it through the filters, you want to come to row 1, and you want to turn each of these filters 1, 2, and 3. We're going to be using all 3 of them. You want to turn them to 60%, and then in filter 3's row, you want to come to the output and you want to turn that to 60%. I think that's what it's at. Yeah, It's around there. Just make them look like this. Make them all point to the right. Then you want to come to your ring modulation section. You do that by clicking this button down here. So you want to come to row 2, column 2, and you want to ring modulate operator 2 with itself. That's what this is doing, I believe. If I'm wrong about any of this stuff, just correct me in the comments. I'd love to learn more. I don't really know how FM works too well. So after that's all set up, you want to come to filter 1, and you want to turn the filter type to cherry phaser. Then you want to turn on oversampling with the HQ button. Put this to X3. I don't really know what the X3 does. It just makes it sound better. I think it exaggerates it more, something like that. Who knows? But you want to turn that on, turn your cutoff and your resonance to something like that, and then you want to come to your next knob here, which it basically just sends it to the next filter 2, and you want to turn it all the way up. Then you want to come to filter 2. Oh, actually, let me go back here. I forgot to tell you something to do. So you want to come to cut, and you want to set your mapping up. This maps the cutoff to the XY. So you want to set your mapping up something like this. Then you want to go to filter 2. Same kind of thing. I have flat turned on here, which basically attenuates the peak that you get when you turn the resonance up. So you want to set this to cherry phaser. You want to set the cutoff to here, resonance to here, X3, flat on or off if you want it. It really makes a difference in the sound. So you can just play around with the flat button. And obviously turn on your oversampling, come to cut, mod X, set up your mapping, something like this, if you want the exact sound that I'm making. And then turn your next knob all the way to the right. Then that brings us to filter 3, and you want to make this a lime high pass. Again, I have flat turned on, I have my oversampling turned on, X3. Cutoff and resonance should be at 50%. That's what I found sounds the best. And then you want to come to your cutoff section here and go to mod Y this time, and you want to map mod Y like this. Then resonance, I have mapped to mod X. This is optional. You can play around with it, and do what sounds good to you. And that sets up our citrus, which is the meat and potatoes of this sound. So next we're gonna move on to Vocadex, which is the first in line for the effects chain. And what you want to do is you want to turn your just your wet knob all the way up. You want to turn your bandwidth all the way up, and then set your order to 3. And if you want to set your band distribution to 58, you can. It doesn't make a terribly huge difference. And also make sure that your filter flatness is all the way up. And that sets up Vocadex. Actually, one more thing, make sure you turn your draft button off. Draft mode sucks. Just turn it off every single time. A lot of people don't really know about it either, which is pretty crazy. It makes a huge difference in how everything sounds. Then after that, you want to put 2 OTTs, one right after the other. You don't have to do anything to the OTTs, just load them on there and they do their job. Next is UberMod. You want to load this up, turn your mix to 100%. Basically, you're just using the default setting. Mix to 100%, then come to your diffusion tab, turn it on, and then turn the diffusion to like 15%. Again, you can play around with that. More diffusion is going to give it like a smoother, kind of like white noisy sound, and less is going to allow it to be more squelchy. Then you want to load up a disperser. If you don't have this plugin, please go buy it. It is amazing. It makes everything sound better. And you want to turn your amount up to 100%, pinch all the way down, and then you want to move your frequency to like around here. If it's around here, that'll make it do its job. Next, I have a parametric EQ with just a boost and then a cut down here to get rid of any kind of like rumbly sounds that might happen. And I also have a limiter on here. You don't have to use Pro L2. I like Pro L2. It's amazing. It's what I use for like on my master whenever I am mixing a track. But I mean, Fruity limiter, basically any limiter is going to do the same sort of job for the sound. It's all going to be limited later on when you mix your track, so it doesn't really matter. You don't even really need one if you don't want one. And then I have a Ozone 9 EQ on here just for some mid-side EQ. See the side I have it cut pretty high up. Again, just to get rid of any weird low-end artifacts. You don't want that. It doesn't sound good in the mix, and it'll make the sound weird. So that does it. Once you have all that set up, then you can come over here, and this is me playing it live. And it already just sounds this good, and it's ready to just go in. The way I would recommend like utilizing this, instead of drawing your MIDI and drawing your automation for it, just record it live. Use your pitch bend wheel, portamento right here, whatever you need to, and it'll work its magic. So it should sound something like this. And there you have it. That is the Space Laces Growl that I made per what he said on his Reddit AMA, which was that he used Citrus, Vocadex, and Disperser basically to make it. So if you have any questions, or I screwed anything up during the tutorial, missed something, let me know. I'll try and fix it as fast as I can, or post a fix in the comments for it. So I also have a Patreon started, so if you guys like my tutorials, please I encourage you to come donate if you like them enough, so I can do more. It helps me out. So don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll be back with another tutorial. I think I'm gonna do the one of the kill the noise, like chunky sound that he uses. It's like a vocally growl kind of sound, but yeah, you'll see in the next tutorial when I upload it. It's really easy to make, and it's made in Rapid. If anyone knows about that synth, it's kind of on the down low. But I will see you guys later with a new tutorial. Thank you.